cities didn't just happen. These people came together in this city because they need what the city can give them and what other people can give them. We're social creatures. We need the closeness of others. We get a special kind of excitement from the experiences we live in. In cities, there is activity and change and variety. It's in the cities that people of different races and cultures live together and get to know each other. But our need for cities goes a good deal deeper than just liking to have lots of others around. When millions of people get together in cities, they can produce more and have more of everything. Most factories are in or near cities where there's a pool of manpower and easy communication. Large-scale production requires a vast number of consumers. Cities provide a concentrated market that makes our economic system possible. We can have art galleries, concerts, ballet, museums, zoos, only where there are enough people to support them. Where there is a concentration of people, we can have large institutions, specialists, costly equipment. Have you ever really studied a classified telephone book in a large city? What do you want? Would you like a map mounted? A bearing rebabbited? A singing commercial? Want to destroy some business records? Name it. Only in the city are there enough people who need ultrasonic equipment or reducing equipment so that business can thrive. Since the city provides all these goods and services, it means that there are jobs in great and inviting variety.
If the demand is sufficient, we'll take more later, of
high
course,
of
but we may
88 and
suggest that
3/8 and closing at 87.5/8 for a net gain of 6 1/4 points.
Yes, we love the opportunities and excitement of the city. But there is another side to this picture. As our cities grow, our problems grow. What has happened to our cities? Have they grown from the small crossroads towns of 150 years ago? There was a long period when towns grew slowly. Perhaps down near the river a factory was built. The town grew. A ring of residences circled the central business and industry. Things got too crowded and industry leapfrogged to the outskirts. People built their homes still farther out. Small business followed along some of the main streets. A few well-to-do people who began to feel crowded built homes in the suburbs and in the country. By 1920, more people lived in cities than lived in rural areas. And during the next 10 years, they continued to flock in. During the 30s, there was little change. But after World War II, the cities didn't just grow, they exploded. Because the change has been so great and so rapid, it has created enormous problems that affect the way we live. The most immediate problem was where to put all these new families. Good building land close to the central city was scarce. The city had to go up or out. It was easier and cheaper to go out over the farms and fields. The quiet little suburbs began to fill up, and soon they were swallowed in the sprawling growth. We still call this a city, though we shouldn't. It's a metropolis, a city surrounded by a cluster of smaller towns and suburbs that all run together. We needed new homes. Lots of them, and fast. They're cheaper by the dozen, by the 10 dozen. Pre-cut the lumber, knock them together, Put on the pressure. Put on the pressure. Construction pressure. Sales pressure. Today, a family can buy an influential home. But tomorrow, when the last house is sold and the salesmen go on to the next track, the influential home will settle down as just one more part of the vast urban sprawl. 2/3 of the people in our country now live in a metropolitan area. Mostly the growth is out here in the suburbs. There are many good things about living in this new world. It has given millions of families pleasant, well-planned homes, a place to have a garden with light and air and space. But because so many families needed homes so fast, our metropolitan areas have spread without plan. The problem of planning is enormous. There may be a city government here, and here, and here. There is a county government here, school districts here, water districts here. Each has different needs which it guards jealously. No metropolitan area has been able to work out plans to solve more than a fraction of its problems. One great question is the best way to use the land itself. Should it be built up mile after monotonous mile, or should open spaces be left to separate the communities? Often growth has been so fast that no one thinks of providing for parks or recreation areas. Often the builders of tracts don't plan for schools. The community scrambles along after the people move in, putting up school buildings where it can find the land. The builders may put up shopping areas which are convenient for marketing by car, but are often an eyesore. Many communities are slow to make laws requiring trees and landscaping. Sometimes builders put up cheap, poorly constructed homes that will be suburban slums not so many years from now. Land in metropolitan areas is precious. We certainly can make better use of it than we do. The growth of suburbs has brought another major problem: getting there and back. Without cars, suburbia wouldn't be possible. But once we live in suburbia, even where there are trains and buses serving the suburbs, most people have to depend on cars. Each year there are more of them. Each year there must be more highways and expressways to take care of them. This new suburban way of living has brought personal problems, too. Unless the woman of the family works or has a second car, she is often stuck in the neighborhood. Suburban neighborhoods are fine for growing children. But adults often find they miss the stimulation of the central city. There's plenty of stimulation for everyone here. But many people living and working close together bring other problems. What kind of world are we making in the central city? Ever watch the morning traffic when people are going to work? Mostly it's one car, one person. A ton or two of metal that takes up 130 square feet of space, more or less. In Los Angeles, which has one of the worst traffic situations, nearly 2/3 of the downtown area is taken up by the automobile. Parking lots, garages, streets, and freeways. The automobile that no one would think of giving up is doing this to our central cities. It's taking up more and more of the working and living space. It's unpleasantly expensive. It creates a polluted and disagreeable world that no one enjoys being in. Many city planners believe that really good public transportation is the only way to keep our cities from being choked to death by the automobile. But good public transportation can pay for itself only where population is concentrated. Where it is spread out, a bus may run only once an hour. No one wants to wait on a curb then. And most people don't. The result is that many downtown areas are dying because they are so difficult and unpleasant to get into. Another major problem of the central city is that many old areas around the core are decaying. Here are the streets with the run-down flats, the vacant rooms, the rows of dreary houses. Here live those who can't afford something better. Here are the minority groups who are excluded from something better. Much of it is shelter built in an era when we had very different ideas about what was fit for humans to live in. Those who care about our cities want to replace the ugly, shabby, dirty living areas. But how? And with what? The problem of urban renewal is as vast as the old sections of our cities. Some old sections are slowly being replaced by public buildings, some by commercial buildings. Some near downtown areas are giving way to office buildings. Some are being replaced by high-rise housing. But every dwelling torn down for urban renewal creates a human problem. It's never pleasant having to lose a home, even an old one. And it's not pleasant trying to find a new one when there isn't much money in the paycheck. To take care of the low-income population, some cities are building high-rise housing where the slums used to be. These, too, create their own problems. The architects and planners point proudly to the order, the neat walks, the grass, the cleanliness, the space and light and air. But critics argue that the neat walks are seldom occupied, that the empty space creates a cheerless, unfriendly neighborhood. They point out that often the surrounding neighborhoods grow worse, breeding crime and violence after dark. However, not all new housing is low rent by any means. There are more and more large apartments going up for those who can afford to make choices. And many do choose to live in the central city for all the good things it has to offer. We need the city. We want its fun, its excitement and crowds, its arts and culture, its change and activity. But after the fun, let's not retreat into our homes and try to disregard the problems. Each metropolitan area can bring order to the sprawl. but not where dozens of small districts are working each in its own interest. We must learn to work together to plan our huge communities. We can rehabilitate the decaying core of our cities. We can keep our cities from choking themselves to death. It can be done if enough of us have the will to do it. This is where 2/3 of us have chosen to live. Do we have the will to remake the city into a place that will enrich our lives?